What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Shemarvlindsay here. This is my first YouTube video, and I'm going to talk about how to start your own business. So for those that may not know, I've started two businesses so far. I've started Island Exclusives, and I've also started Island Exclusive Media. Island Exclusives is a clothing / lifestyle brand. I've had that for about 3 years now, and it's been doing pretty well. I've been able to have a few drops here and there, and I've sold out basically every single time that I've dropped clothing, which is pretty cool. I've also started a photography company, which is, like I said before, Island Exclusive Media. I did that about 1.5 years ago, and I bought the camera, a nice Canon camera, which I'm using right now, and I actually kind of started it based off the fact of my clothing brand. I kind of wanted to market my clothing brand better with better images and content, so I ended up getting a camera, learning how to use it. That actually, gave me another stream of income, which is pretty amazing. And I've been able to pay off my camera with photography, and I've been able to pay off anything I've used to make the clothing. I've made some decent profit. But yeah, so I kind of just wanted to jump into how I started, and then I'm gonna give you about 6 tips on my top 6 tips on starting a business, and kind of ways of making it simpler. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and jump into how I started Island Exclusives. I started the brand through just watching YouTube and trying to figure out what business I wanted to start, and I got interested in clothing, and I saw that someone made a lot of money doing it. There was it was like a video on a guy from China that sold like 100,000 hoodies with a particular logo on it. It was like a gold, simple concept, but he just went crazy with the sales on it, and it inspired me to start my own clothing brand. So I kind of came up with a logo. I kind of really went to a friend's house. I didn't really know how to use Illustrator or design stuff, so I just went to a friend's house and was like, hey, I'm trying to come up with an island themed clothing brand, and I want it to be really simple, like Polo or Nike or one of those bigger brands, but I want it to be clean and simple. So we came up with a few concepts, and I was like, hey, we should try a palm tree. And he just made a nice, like 2 palm trees together, and you guys can see the logo on my Instagram, which I'll either leave in the description or I'll put it on the screen here. But yeah, so we made the palm tree, and it looked really clean. I was like, hey, let's just make it gold. And then from there, I came up with the name Island Exclusives, and I just ran with it. It did take me some time to come up with the name, but honestly, what I learned from that is that the name is just a name. As long as it's a good name, it'll pop once you market it right. So I came with that brand, and I just ran with it from there. Found a printing company, and boom, I just threw out some products and learned how to market, and trial and error. The photography one, I honestly just went on YouTube, learned how to use a camera. I also took a class during college that kind of made me want to do photography more and to learn more skills about it. And from there, I just ran with it, and I started, marketing different types of photo shoots that people would want to pay for, and it ended up working out for me. So those, are how I started those 2 businesses. And now I'm gonna give you 6 tips on starting your business, right? So the first thing I think is the most important is research, because in order to understand a business and how it works, you should do some research before getting into it. Learning what's important, what makes the money, what keeps it going, what keeps it stable, and just kind of learning the industry in general is very important going into starting your own business. And I think that's probably the best thing you can do is research the industry. That's number 1, research. Number 2 is planning. So yeah, you can know all the knowledge, you can have everything you need to know about the industry, but you also have to plan on how you're going to enter the industry and what you're going to do, what your business is going to look like. How are you going to get a piece of the market share in your community or in your area or global, whatever the case may be. So this, the second thing is going to be a business plan or some sort of plan. It doesn't necessarily have to be super formal, but it has to be you have to understand what you're going to do when you get into the business. Number 3 is execute. So obviously you can have all the research, you can have all the planning you want, but if you don't execute or if you don't try things, you're never going to know what works from what doesn't work. You're never going to be able to, move forward if you don't execute on anything. The fourth thing I'm going to say is reviewing. Obviously, like, you can execute as much as you want, but like, if you're not reviewing what's going on in your business, if you're not seeing, what's working from what's not working, what you need to change, then you're going to struggle a lot in your business. But you have to kind of review what you're doing and what can be changed about your business, the model, or what you're doing in terms of execution. It's always good to review, and then obviously adjusting is the next step. Obviously you can review, but now you have to adjust. Like, you actually have to put those changes into play and see how they work out. And then the last step is just repeating pretty much all the steps that I just mentioned before. So research, planning, execute, review, adjust. Just kind of repeating that cycle, and constantly improving your business. I think those are probably the best 6 steps to starting and running a business. But the most important thing for me, I think, is starting. It took me a while to get from actually thinking about all these ideas to actually starting and doing something. So the most important key to starting a business is starting, right, guys? So yeah, so I hope that this video brought you some value. I did want to keep it pretty short and sweet. There will be a lot more videos. Thank you for those that gave me the ideas for my YouTube channel. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe.